They called it. Yeah.
Okay, we'll officially call our meeting to order at 4:16 and note that everyone is present and we have Ms. Green joining us today as a guest. So we want to welcome everybody who's joining us. The first item on our agenda is just an approval of our agenda for tonight. So if you want to take a second and review, and then we'll take a motion and a second for approval. It's just a one-pager today. Ms. Hill makes a motion, second by Ms. Bowers. Any discussion? All in favor of approving our agenda, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is to review our minutes from the October 22nd meeting. So if you want to take a second to review those, it's about a 2.5 pager, and then we'll take a motion and a second to approve.
I make the motion.
Motion by Ms. Hill. Do we have a second? Second by Ms. Lane. Any discussion? All in favor of approving our minutes from the last meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item on our agenda is the good news report. So since our last meeting, we had 5th grade got to go on a field trip to the Lexington Children's Theater. They had a great time. They did a great job. We had a house meeting and a house lunch. We had Red Ribbon Week. I can't say that if I say it fast, so I have to go slow because it becomes a ribbon. We had our PTA boograms, which was great. The kids loved that. We had our PTA Monster Mash, which was very well attended, and not just by our neighborhood kids. It was kids from all over that came out. We had a huge diverse population there. We had Book Character Day. Congratulations to 3rd grade for winning the book character competition. Then kindergarten and 2nd grade went to the field trip to the Opera House. We had our buddy classrooms where students made the thankful trees that we have out in the foyer. And then 4th grade just returned from their field trip to the Capitol yesterday in Frankfurt. So
Book character tissue boxes.
oh yeah, we had the book character tissue boxes. So if you haven't seen them around, they're great. Any additional items to celebrate?
He was very busy. We did not.
Okay, awesome. So we'll move on to our next item, which is public comment. Does anyone have any comments they want to make public? Okay, great. Moving on to our school improvement planning process. We are in 2 phases at the same time right now. The first phase is phase 4, which is last year's phase where we're looking at progress monitoring, and that we're continuing to monitor that progress. We do not have any data currently, but we will be sharing new data after we take the MAP test in a couple weeks. We're also in phase 3, which finishes on January 1st, which is creating our comprehensive school improvement plan. The state, in all of their wisdom, has decided that they don't like their form anymore, so they made a new one. So now we have to take what was in our previous CSIP and make it onto this form. So my recommendation to the council is going to be not to change anything. It's just going to be that I'm going to put everything here. We will officially vote on this in December. I'll have it to you in advance. But the goal is that we're not changing anything that we've already planned for this year. It's just we're going to put it onto this specific form. I've started working on this. You in your packet, you just have a blank version of it. But I've started plugging in what our goals are and what they're going to look like. The major difference here is it's going back to how it used to be, where we had to have specific goals that supported reading and math, specific goals that target science, social studies, and writing. Our goals cover all of them. So it's just going to be, you're going to see a lot of the same things repeated over and over again because they support that goal. So that's just something, just wanted to give everybody a heads up that this is going to be a different document when you see it. But it just will talk about what are we going to do, how we're going to measure success, how we're going to progress monitor this. We just found out about this on Sunday. So starting to work on this. So it's not due till January 1st, but we'll approve it at our December meeting with that. So if you have any questions as we're going through, please just let me know. So we'll move into our budget report. We have the first document you have is the Munis document, which is our operating budget. We are still in a good financial status. A lot more teachers are spending their money earlier, which is better because the money is meant to benefit this current year's kids. And so the more that we're spending it on time, we're able to do that. Right now in kind of our operating budget, if you go to page 3, that kind of gives you the total amount. So our operating budget, we started the year at $45,760 at the start of the year. We have $23,929.56 remaining in our operating budget. So we've spent about $21,000. I'll do a comparative showcase for you in December of where we stand halfway in the year in our financial status with those areas. The rest are grants and other documents. We are using our supplemental duties. Those have all been assigned and pushed out, so that's great.
They just start from now, or are they back?
They just start, so it's the same amount. They just split it between whatever checks you have left. They will process that. In our fee waiver money, we're requesting that as we need to. We only got a budget of $3,700 for that. And so Amber works extremely hard to ensure that we recoup every single penny of that back to us, because if we don't use that, it just goes away. So we really make sure that that money gets back to our students. So she's super diligent around all of those pieces. Then you have a lot of different grants as we talk through with Fund 2. Let's see. And that's pretty much the total of everything. Again, you can review if you ever have questions and want me to sit down and talk you through in-depth specific budget items, line items. A lot of the areas, like especially in Fund 2 or Fund 22, we have zero control over, like preschool. As a school, we have zero control over it. That's just the salary for our preschool teacher. The Family Resource Center, we have zero control over that. That's mostly salaries for the Family Resource Center. It just sits in our realm of budgets with that. So what we can really control is that Fund 1. That very first 3 pages is our main part. Any questions on Munis? Okay. The next item is our school activity fund. You can see here, last month we had about $100,000 sitting in this account. That has come down to $85,000 because we've made some expenditures. We spent the money for Core Connections. The writing training came out of this. We've invested in some different trainings, different opportunities. We paid a little bit of money for staffing out of here, but we're continuing to grow this and invest our money appropriately. So there is, you can see every single piece where all the money, the bulk of our money sits in our after school program, that $46,919. That's the big bulk of our money. And that's where we're kind of holding that as a safe haven for future expenditures as we need. So total $85,880.66 in this budget. Okay, moving on. We do not have any committee reports today, so we'll move into our bylaw or policy report or review. You have 3 policies here that we're just going to review. As I reviewed each of them, I did not personally see any changes that I thought were needed. But if you want to take a second, we'll just read through all 3 of them collectively. They're pretty short. And when you're done, and if you have an edit, let me know. We can make that edit, or we can, if you're good reading them, we can move forward.
You said you double the initial allocation from the first one,
Mhm.
so double like what we had discussed previously.
Yeah, so like right now, and the reason it's an ambiguous amount is in the event that we don't get as much funds, that if we have to reduce down. So right now, teachers receive $200 each for their classroom allocations. So those individuals are receiving 400. But in the event that our budget gets slashed and we have to drop that to $100,
Yeah.
that's why it's more ambiguous than you get this amount. It's just, hey, we recognize it's hard to move grade levels
Right.
with that.
When we got PTA to cover like boxes and.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
What is non-instructional, like that last paragraph, the assignment of staff to non-instructional time?
That is duties. It's things like recess duty, car rider duty, bus duty, all of those components. Because like our special area team doesn't have recess duty. They're doing other things during that because they have instructional time. So we try and make it equitable as much as possible.
I was ready.
Okay. So if we're good, these will just kind of continue on. They won't come back for another year for us to look at. So those are the items. So move on to item number 6, which is old business. We do not have any old business at this time. So we'll move on down to item number 7, which is kind of our new business. You can see the enrollment updates. Currently in kindergarten, we have 81. That's actually now at 82. We had a student enroll this morning. They were here and then they left and went to Nepal. And now they're back. So they were in Miss Cunningham's class. First grade has 96 students. Second grade has 66. Third grade has 73. Fourth grade has 79. Fifth grade has 61 for a total of 456 students. We're actually giving a tour tomorrow to a potential fourth grade student that is looking to move into the area. So we're doing that and looking at the tour or giving just information around that. So continuing, we lose a kid, we gain a kid. We lose a kid, we gain a kid. It's just kind of an ebb and flow component. I will say with our enrollment, we have a very large population this year of students that are homeless. We actually have the 5th largest homeless population in Fayette County Public Schools this year. For the number of students that are either living in hotels or living doubled up with other individuals. So we have a large percentage of students that are coming from really at-risk environment that we're supporting in addition to our standard population. So, and
It might be worth saying that some of those are family units, so it could be like one family that has multiple children. So if you think about it in that perspective.
Yeah, but we've got a significant number. And with homeless students, if they go to the Salvation Army, Fayette County will still bus them so they can maintain continuity of education. So they will stay coming to us. So, and we also found there's a student who lives in our district who's going to another school because of homelessness. So,
How do you qualify, like technically for the term homeless?
if you are living if your name is not on the lease, if you're living doubled up,
In a
hotel,
something transient.
yeah, Salvation Army.
But you can only do that once. a
Nope,
year.
we found out that it's now reopened. So that you can do it as many times as you want.
You have to fill out paperwork?
Mhm.
Okay.
It's a really
so
short
they-
application.
Okay, so they all like flagged and
Mhm,
campus?
yep,
McKinney Vento?
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's referred to as McKinney-Vento because that is the individual that the law came out of, that they've really worked nationally to support homelessness. So, okay, so the next item on here is our attendance update. So as a reminder, if it's highlighted, it's below 95, which is our goal. Right now, we're seeing a lot of absenteeism out of our kindergarten group. So that is, we see a lot there. And it kind of ebbs and flows. Certain grade levels have a rough week, other grade levels don't. I was kind of surprised the week of the election that we didn't have as much absenteeism that week. I was thinking with Monday, that's 11-4 to 11-8. We were above 95% in every single grade level. And that was actually that's our highest week since the first 3 weeks of school. So, so that's a lot. We have also been getting a lot of educational enhancement applications. Yep. So we've been getting a lot of educational enhancement applications from families asking for excuses to
The late Thanksgiving, I've got like 3 kids. They're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be here Thursday, Friday. next week."
Yeah. Yep. So, okay, so moving on to the next item, which is the staffing and hiring update. So as of right now, we still have a vacancy for our 0.7 MTSS EL paraeducator. We have interviewed every single candidate that exists for this position, and we have not found anybody that is worth investing this money to do what we are asking for this position to do. So my recommendation to the council is we have 2 staff members here that are part-time that are willing to go to a higher rate of employment with that. So my proposal to the council is that we increase our current MTSS EL paraeducator, the one that we found, who is awesome and she's been great, increase her from, she's currently at a 0.7, increase her up to full-time. And then one of our kindergarten paras is currently at 0.5, increase her up to 0.9. They'll still be doing this work that we want them to be doing. It'll just be utilizing the staff that we already have in place in-house that are willing to go to take this additional role on. Both of them understand that this may be just for this year. Like it's going to come with, we may have to reduce it back to the levels we're at now with that. So that is my recommendation to the council based on, I mean, we've done 5 rounds of interviews for these positions. I've screened every single person that we can, and they just, over 2/3 of the people don't even show up for the interview after you've scheduled. So it's been extremely hard to find people at this level. We've had multiple, and then they back out as we get further in. So these are 2 very qualified people that are both willing. I did offer to the other kindergarten paraeducator who was at 0.5, and she declined the moving up. So that's why she's not included in this, but that was a personal choice, or it would have spread it across all 3 individuals with that. So if we are okay with that, we just need a motion to increase the MTSS EL from 1.0 or 0.7 to 1.0 and the K-para from 0.5 to 0.9. Motion by Ms. Ott, second by Ms. Hill. Any discussion? All in favor of approving that motion, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. So I'll go ahead. I will send that in this evening to hopefully get that ball rolling. Since they are currently on site, it shouldn't be hard to get them increased up to that time. And Ms. Green's going to be working on schedule adjustments to better service those needs. So you've got a list just of our current positions and all of our new hires there for your reference.
Who is the current MTSS EL?
Current MTSS is Kristen McManus.
Is she?
You've probably seen her up and down the hallways.
Glasses, grayish hair.
With a little white cart. She's a parent. She was a previous parent here. So she's been great working with that group of kids, and we're really asking someone to do a teacher's job for paraeducator pay. And so part of what we're going to be, when we increase her schedule, it's going to be allowing more time for her to plan.
We really didn't give her.
We gave her 30 minutes.
And she's doing like 9 30-minute intense remediation groups.
So yeah.
With a huge smile.
So our goal is to give back some of that time to her, because we're asking someone who's not making, she's made great connections with everyone. So the next item is the field trips. We do have a field trip for first grade. Sorry, if you looked at the agenda, it's upside down. But the first grade wants to go to the Nutcracker, so I'll be approving this. They're going on Monday. So that'll be fun for them. So typically once it gets to the council, it's more just, I'm letting you guys know I've already approved it. I just haven't officially signed it. But so our last item is a fund request. We through Title I funds, I believe, purchased Brain Pop for the entire school. We purchased a license of Brain Pop. Our second grade team approached me, and they've had conversations both with kindergarten and first grade, that they have looked at Brain Pop, and they don't feel that it's getting to the level that they need to get instructionally for their kids. So they're asking for us to purchase the Brain Pop Junior license. It comes at about a cost of $275. The way we do it is we buy one license that we all share. So yes, I know. So they wrote up a nice little description of why they are requesting this program. As you know, we have $21,000 in our operating fund and about $89,000 in our school activity fund. So the money is there. This is not a huge amount. It's not like we're asking for $5,000. It's $300.
Help the kid. I mean, I think that makes sense.
Yeah. So do we have a motion to approve? Okay.
Second.
Who got it first? Who got it first? I lost first. Okay, we're gonna give it to Beasley. Beasley made the motion. And Ms. Hill made the second. All in favor? I would prefer you to fight over doing it fast than sit here and stare at each other and who's gonna do it? All in favor of approving the motion, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The last three items on your agenda is just the next items for our agenda for next month is just, they're in the supplemental packet. We'll be reviewing the school space policy, the extracurricular program policy, and the program evaluation policy. So if you want to take some time to review those, that will be helpful to have them reviewed in the beginning so we can move forward faster. So that brings us to item number 9. Yes, ma'am.
Any money off the cheerleading?
No, we don't take a cut of that. It's we don't have to offer it.
They're helping to improve our school. They're offering clubs and access.
I was
to
just
things.
curious.
Yeah. No, we've not. And that may, as we start to look at that program moving forward, that may be a conversation we start to have as we expand out. Because I will say that is I've had 3 different meetings with different vendors that are also looking to do very similar things. Because people are seeing, hey, this is a great opportunity. I can break into this program and do those things. So now that we're starting to see how much interest we have, we may be asking, okay, how do we work this out?
I know we've talked about this before, but back to because how many people do we even have getting stipends right now? Like 3?
There's 4, and then some, like Mr. Boone is getting one from the district for esports.
I was wondering, like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's only like 4 like staff members that we're funding. We've got a lot that are being funded outside of different things. I know Miss McDonald is planning to start Miss second grade McDonald is planning to start a dance team for 3rd through 5th in the spring. Yep, he's doing esports with, I think that's just 4th and 5th. And they compete.
Yeah.
And it's
Lounge downtown.
yeah,
like,
it's
right
paired
down.
with Special Olympics. So Special Olympics is paying for our team and sponsoring our team, and they will compete in the Special Olympics because we have students with special needs that are participating in that team. So it's a great opportunity. They funded all of the resources that we need.
That's
So
cool. People get scholarships for that.
yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah, there's I think a major at UK now around esports.
That lounge is
Mhm.
sweet. We almost did Hagen's birthday party there.
My nerd is there.
Yep.
He's the treasurer of the club. He works there.
Mhm.
The Slice House right by there is good too.
Okay, we're at item number 9, adjournment. I need a motion to adjourn. Motion by Miss Russell, second by Miss Hill. All in favor of adjourning our meeting, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.